Hey all, this is basically just a quick video on the set bonuses for Feral Druid in 9.1. If you watch the Dratnos video, then you'll be familiar that there's basically a 3x3 grid, and basically you just want to know which of the set bonuses to grab. I've done some testing. Basically it looks like the unholy one, which is the one that gives you a ramping stat bonus, is probably going to be the best one for us at the moment. I tested the blood one, it was about 3% damage, and it appears to only work single target. When you tag a new mob, the debuff drops. The frost bonus doesn't seem to be particularly good. It was doing about 1% of my damage with no other bonus, such as stats. I think if you're like a faster attacking class that can ramp up the capped crit damage, it would be a little bit better. So I ended up going with the unholy set bonus. On PTR at the moment, you can only get 3 slots, so you can't get all 4. And I also tested with rank 1. So I'll just quickly show you my gear. So on the vendor, there's helmet, shoulders, and chest. Gloves and boots for leather are not available at the moment. I tested this, so these bonuses are only available in the Maw. So what I had to do was I had to put down a training dummy in the Maw. It's also available in the raid, but obviously there's no raid testing and you can't do a single target dummy there. So the training dummy that you can drop to last 5 minutes. So the bonus, there's three bonuses for unholy if you take it. One is the ramping damage, which is basically 100% uptime. You'll get 1% extra damage. Your auto attacks refresh it. Second one is helpful spells. Have a chance to give unholy aura, which is a nearby health drain. I tried casting Regrowth myself. It didn't. I don't think it procced at all. So maybe it's only other targets. And the last one I think is movement speed. Yeah, speed is increased by 40. The other relevant bonuses are the frost one and the blood one. The frost one is when you hit a target you haven't damaged before, you get a damage bonus for 20 seconds. So it's pretty good for M+ or ad fights. And the other one is the X. You deal more damage if you have 50% more HP than the other opponent, and that's the blood DPS one. So the gear I have here is basically just a setup from live. All I did was I changed the head, shoulders, and helm. Head, shoulders, and chest. And I changed my legendary slot to neck, which I've already prepared. Secondary stats for quantum device are crit and mastery, which is pretty much default, what everyone runs these days. So the important thing about Chaos Bane, and I'll explain how it works, and then I'll play the video and see how I interact with it, is that you get a proc, and then once you get that proc, abilities that you cast gain you stacks. When you hit 15 stacks, you get 150 primary stat for, I think it's 15 seconds. It's 15 or 20 seconds. I think it's 15. And at our current level, at 226i level-ish, you have 1,500, so it's basically a 20% damage app. So pretty good if you can line up with some things. And you can manipulate that, which is what I'm going to show you in the video. So basically my open is the same. I'm going to stealth rake into Brawl Slash, into Thrash, and then Berserk. I've got everything macroed, but normally you'd have a raid pop everything. Berserk into Rip. And then I'm just going to Convoke immediately, because I have Lust. The Convoke obviously gives you the Naya buff, so you get the big mastery buff for the rest of your Berserk. The bottom talent on Naya at the moment basically gives you 50% more mastery during Convoke, so it's pretty juicy, but you have to be in a party with a non-Night Fae person to get it to proc. Basically, during Berserk, you refresh rank and Brawl Slash once, and then you're just fishing for clear casting. As soon as you get clear casting, you cast Shred and Fresh Spite. You just get that combo. And you want to delay your last Shred as late as possible so that you can refresh your Brawl Slash coming out of the Berserk. So you can see my proc here. It's over here. You will need a tracker for this. I'll show you why. So now I'm just going to perform my standard rotation. I'm not going to do any shifting shenanigans for this, but you can use Heart of the Wild. So this is just when it's on cooldown, I have a tracker. So it procs pretty quickly. So once it procs, you get a you get this stacking buff. It goes from 1 to 15. Sometimes it bugs out, and when you cast abilities, it doesn't give you anything. What I found is that every ability you cast gives you it gives you 2 stacks, because for some reason, if you auto attack, sorry, let me just put my phone on silent. If you auto attack and then cast ability, it gives you 2 stacks. Other abilities that proc it are pretty much everything that procs the Venthia Covenant ability. So you can spam Dispel Yourself, so remove corruption, but it stops your auto attack swing timer. So I don't recommend doing it. I was trying it before, and you lose a lot of clear casting procs, because basically your auto attack speed is about 2/3 of what it normally is. So you're only using you do spam remove corruption, but only to manipulate it when you're towards your major CDs. So right now it's stuck. So it does this weird bug where it gets stuck and it doesn't give you any stacks. And as soon as you notice it's stuck, you just try to stop casting any abilities. Another thing is, if you cast Regrowth, when you cast Regrowth, it'll give you a stack. So it counts as ability. It only gives you 1 stack instead of 2. When you're in it, so I just procced it with Regrowth just then. If you look at my spellcast up here, that's 1 casting in the top left. So now I'm just gonna maintain my normal rotation. And because it's a 5-minute dummy, I'm going to use Berserk at 4 minutes with my third Convoke. And I'm also going to try making sure I have a healthy rep. This is all just normal rotation stuff at the moment. So right now, I'm casting Regrowth. So I just added a stack using Regrowth. So you do your normal rotation, and when you have a breather, so because of Blood Talents, you have to cast 3 abilities in 4 seconds. What I kept doing was I was just casting Regrowth on cooldown, and I was messing up my Blood Talents. With a bit of practice, you can get the extra stacks. When your AoE, gives you multiple stacks as well if you hit multiple targets, once you have that ramping buff. So what I'm going to do here is I have 15 seconds to Convoke, and I'm going to try fishing. So I just cast Remove Corruption. I'm trying to ramp this stack up so I can Convoke with 20% extra damage. So I've cast Remove Corruption 3 times. And I've delayed my Tiger's Fury. Now I've got the proc. And I'm ready to Convoke. And this Convoke does big damage, obviously. Big juicy fiver. I think that's the core mechanic. Just lining it up. So you can see it procs after it falls off. Usually it procs again within about 10 seconds if you're casting abilities, like 3 or 4 abilities. I have a feeling it has a modifier for Feral Druid, because Feral Druids are not the most spammy of the classes. Another thing is, because it's got a 20% damage amp, if you can squeeze a Ferocious Bite into the window, it's probably a good idea, because it's basically doing the same damage amp as Tiger's Fury. But like, because you have 3 conduits, you have the choice between Tiger's Fury or Stealth Rake and Shred. I've taken Tiger's Fury here. Another thing I've done is I've taken Celestial Guidance, which is weapon enchant, so you get 5% extra primary stat because you're more primary stat heavy because of this proc. Oh, this is a 9-minute video already. So notice I just Ferocious Bite, gave me 2 stacks. A lot of these abilities give me 2 stacks. And another general tip is, if you're doing pure single target, you do want your rip to last all the way to your next Tiger's Fury, so you can kind of tell how long you have. And you want to try not to refresh your rip when you have all your damage amps up, which is basically when your Berserk starts, but sometimes you're forced to. So now we're towards the end of this, and I have a proc going. I've got 9 seconds left. So that's 4.5 abilities, or 4 abilities plus a regrowth proc to proc it. Or I can spam some remove corruption. I'm actually early here, so I'm trying not to proc it too hard. And so I'm on 13 now, and so I can regrowth here, and then remove corruption if I wanted to proc it. Regrowth does not stop your auto attack swing timer. So just there, I rate to trigger it. Then I pop Berserk, which is going to give me my trinket proc as well. So right now I have trinket proc, and if this is your second Berserk or later in the fight, I recommend you save your Tiger's Fury. So you basically want to do finisher, get your energy back using Tiger's Fury, and then cast another finisher, or just your other abilities in general. But in this particular case, I didn't get the procs that I wanted, so I just Convoke. So right now, I have pretty much every single amp that I can get. I'm doing big damn. If there was like a details screen, I'd show it to you. I've also got full energy at the end of that Convoke, which is pretty good. And then this target damage is pretty much going to despawn now, so I only have like 1 Tiger's Fury left. So just then I use my regrowth to get it to odd stacks, so 1 more proc will get me to 15. It's really nice because really, if you think about it on pure single target, what you're doing with the regrowth and remove corruption is you're removing the count from 8 abilities to 7. So you start on 1. Sorry, it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So it's 7 abilities. But you're moving it down to 6 every count. So you actually increase your uptime by a bit. So my buff uptime here for Chaos Bane, which is the damage amp, is 40%. I think before I was manipulating it, before what I was doing was I was spamming remove corruption. I was actually able to get Chaos Bane up to 45%, but my DPS was lower. And obviously, I have to make a new character every time I want to test this, so I can't just do it back to back because it's a 1 hour cooldown on dropping the dummy. And there's a lot of things to test before you just chuck it into sims, and then you have to factor those things in as well. Especially something like resetting swing timer. It's pretty important. I obviously don't. I think that's it. So I don't have warrior buff or monk buff. I'm doing about 8.8k. It's 8.8k DPS when this disappears. And I was testing this without the set bonus. So same gear, just the 1% damage gem was gone. 1% damage gem was gone. The other 2 were gone. Same gear, just no domination gear sockets. And I think the highest I was able to do was about 7.9k ish. And that was also this run here. If I hover over it, go into details, I'm pretty sure this is a 15 byte. So this is 50 hits, 35. So this is 15 bytes. And the closest I was getting was 7.85 with 13 bytes and 1 feral frenzy, which is about 14 point something bytes. So I think on average I get about 8.6-ish. So it's pretty sizable. It's about 13% DPS. Maybe if you're generous, 11%. Minus 1% gem, so 10% for the set bonus. You would easily downgrade this to normal mode. This is normal mode. Test bonus. You might even get lower. Because I don't know if the bonus, the tier set bonus is based on the eye level of the helm, or something else. But yeah, that's just my findings for now. I think this will translate across to M+ as well if you can manipulate procs. And this is like a 15-minute video already, so I'm just going to end it here. Thanks for watching.